Hello, my name is Victoria Brewer and this is my personal ethical perspectives video. I found this topic to be unusually, and curiously difficult. I haven't been in the actual business world for very long, so business ethics is relatively new for me. However, in everyday life, I face my fair share of ethical dilemmas, but that'll be discussed later on. So today I'm going to cover 4 objectives, the most important focus areas in business ethics, the challenges that are faced when creating an organizational culture, and what methods work effectively in creating that culture of business ethics. And lastly, I'll discuss my personal guiding philosophy and the way that I think and why. So I feel like the first most important business ethic, in my opinion, is having an ethically sound leader. You want someone that, sets a good name for the company, and acts ethically. He's not getting in trouble. You look up to him, and he gives a good name for the company. And so some of the more important areas also, I think, is having a family well-being environment. And I say that because I feel some managers today kind of lose fact that the employees have a family, and so things happen, such as a child unplugs an alarm clock, or they have to go pick them up from school, or there's a family emergency. And so, that family-friendly environment will give the employees the confidence, and the reassurance that, they're not going to get deducted for things that are kind of out of their control sometimes. And so responsibility and teamwork is another important aspect of business ethics. You need to be held accountable. You have responsibilities, and, you're expected to get them done, and, and to do them ethically. And if not, again, the accountability comes into play, and you're responsible for being held accountable. And if you make a mistake, you own up to it and you move on. And teamwork is becoming a bigger phenomenon, especially in bigger companies where you have projects. 2 heads are better than 1 sometimes, especially here at school. Many group projects. And so teamwork, having the tools to effectively work with other people, is essential. That leads to the form of community. Being able to help the community, along with your image, can be a really rewarding thing. We talked about it in class before, because sometimes there's a discussion, you should do it out of the goodness of your heart. Well, it's kind of like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I mean, just because you are making a good name for your company doesn't make, the act that you're doing any less, any less effective on the community. And so, that leads to the challenges in business ethics. And I feel that greed is a big one. There's always someone somewhere that's willing to do anything and everything to earn that extra dollar or to get that extra promotion, even if it means acting unethically. And then there's the challenges of managers themselves. You get these people that don't have the tools, they don't have the communication, they don't have, the drive or the discipline to be a manager. Therefore, it causes, low work morale, decrease in revenues, just, a long list of negative things, resulting in, business closures or, lawsuits, things like that. And so, especially now, I think the culture/language barrier is a challenge. I know this for me personally at my work at Cummins. I had very little exposure to different cultures and different languages, and so it's taken me a really long time, and even I still struggle today after 3 years. It's still a big challenge. It's hard to understand and really comprehend what they mean, and like the time zones are different. They may say they'll be there in an hour, and then it'll be like 15 minutes they'll be here, or vice versa, it'll be like 3 hours, and then they show up. And so to create this, positive culture of business ethics, I think it takes the whole company. It starts with the manager, of course. Like, he needs to be able, to put his foot down and create the policies, create the codes, and implement them and follow through with them. Proper training and teamwork building exercises are also important, to retain that harmony and positive, work ethic. And so, when discussing my own personal guiding philosophy, I'm very much a virtue ethicist. My perspective on life is what drives my motivations and my attentions to what I do. From a very young age, I was taught to put others first. Always try and do the right thing, never lie. And of course that it's extremely hard. It's a battle every day. But growing up, I was in very tough situations, but I've seen, it's kind of like the monkey see, monkey do. I was taught and I've seen what not to do. So when I'm under pressure, or when life becomes difficult, I know not to turn to temporary releases such as drugs or alcohol or destructive behavior. I turn my tragedies into motivations that keeps me going, and to accomplish as much as I can. My mother just recently passing, not even a year ago. She wanted me to finish school, and as hard as it is to get up every morning, because my father is gone as well, and so right now it's a very lonely ride, but I have that motivation, and I know it's what she wanted, and I know it's best for me, and it's the right thing to do. But along with that, I also have, a deontological perspective as well. So I feel like an example of that was I'm trying to find a full-time position right now at work. My team is moving, but I am not allowed to go with them because I will still be in school. They're moving to Seymour, and so they came in and hired an admin to take over all the responsibilities that I have, and so I won't have anything left to do, and I feel like that won't benefit myself or the company. And then also, my boyfriend has a son, and so I try to make sure the decisions that I make sure that it won't come back and bite them in the butt, to kind of put it frank. I make sure it's best for all of us as a whole, especially they're becoming a bigger part, and a more serious part of my life. And so that kind of sums up my business ethics perspective, and thank you for giving me your time.